Dark chocolate. Honey, she.
Nutty. Okay, nutty. I
Oh,
heard that. Nutty.
oh.
Nutty.
These people nasty. They're nasty.
Ooh, rich.
Rich. Yeah, I
That's a
don't think
stretch, but
rich. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
he's sweet. Sweet's got to be number two.
What she
I want to
say?
say buttery.
Horny.
Buttery. He's sweet.
Grandma. Buttery.
He's sweet. So sweet.
There you go. There you go. Sweet.
Gizmo is real now.
I'm on
He's
live.
real. Okay.
Oh, I don't want you to be like, Gizmo's
Okay.
real. I'm about to sock it to her tonight. Don't,
Yeah, it's been.
don't you do it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would throw this coffee on
You
you.
about to catch all this. You may catch it. You may catch it now.
I'm gonna throw this coffee on your work shirt
Shit.
if you don't
That's all
hush.
right. I'll call in. I'll be like, hey, I can't make it.
Go to work, child. You done made me forget your name. Go to
They be
work.
saying,
Go,
is it
go,
Corona? I'll be like, no, it's
go,
Omo.
go, go to work.
It's Omo. That's
Go
what
to
it
work.
is. Shit.
Go to work.
This ain't no Corona.
Go to work.
Mhm.
Leave me out your business, okay? I don't want to have nothing to do with that.
You might catch all this. Mhm.
Go to work.
Mhm.
Talking about you gonna catch this.
Run, run, and rest and repeat. I heard that.
Go to work, child. What's the number and is there a fee? This is a donation based. Let me put it in the chat. This is a
Shoot, I donate all right. Yeah. Get out of here.
you a nut. Did that show up, y'all? You didn't see that?
You didn't see me.
Let me turn this Family Feud thing down because this thing loud. Okay, I'm gonna put the phone number in a minute. Let's give a couple of more people a chance to show up. So hi Brandon, hi Rosemary, hi Queen of Weaves. I heard that girl, the Queen of Weaves. Hey Deborah, Queen of Weaves. Do you do hair? You do hair, girl. Who is that? Hey Gemini Awakening, Rosemary Parks. You do hair, girl. You do you have a YouTube page? Do you have a channel? Let me go see. Yeah. Oh, but you don't have no recent videos though. Your videos are old. So you're not doing videos now. But you did do videos in the past. Oh, you retired? Oh, okay, girl. Okay, yeah, I just went there and looked. Y'all know if y'all have a channel, I'm gonna go to your channel now and check you out, see what's going on. Okay, well, just because you retired don't mean that you can't, put things on your channel about your how you used to do hair in the past because I'm trying to figure out how I can get all of this hair up under a wig and it not look really bulky because I'm not really going for a whole Diana Ross. I don't know if I want Diana Ross big hair, but hey, if that's what I have to do in order, you gone?
Mm-hmm.
You made your lunch?
I don't have enough stuff, so I'm gonna have to wing it.
It's enough chicken, ain't it?
Yeah, it's not chicken, but I'll have my stuff to go with it. And I'm running.
Oh, well, it's enough for me.
Yeah, it's enough.
Let me move this blanket because as soon as you run out that door, Gizmo go run his little butt over here, and and he gonna get mad if he can't get the blanket the way he want it. He be kicking and scratching and let me find the remote. He be kicking and scratching and can on. Come on, Pootie, so you can get comfortable. Daddy gone. Daddy gone, boo boo. Ooh, we showing, Mom. Show not about to put on the Conjuring. I don't care what time it is. I still be scared when I be at home by myself and the scary movies be coming on. Hey, Venus Mother. Let's see, which phone number do we want to use? Um, the Google number, probably. Where's the number? Oh, here it is. We're going to use this number, 925-338-0237. Okay, that is the call-in number, and oh, she said my locks need to be braided down and interlocked because they're so long. Braided down and then kind of like tucked into each other, like rolled around and then tucked. I know they got to lay flat. And I have a big head. That's the thing too. Not only do I, not only is the locks a problem because they are long, but I got a big head. So it's y'all see what he doing? So it's going to be difficult. Gizmo, that is just not necessary. Just lay your behind down on that blanket. You didn't even have to do all of that. The blanket still ain't flat. You should have left it the way I had it. Oh, bad dog. Um, yeah. Braid it down and then kind of like fold, but lay it flat and pin it down so that the wig will be able to fit on that. Yeah, that's a lot of work. And then I'm thinking that if I do all of that, you got to put a wig cap on top of that, right? On top of my hair before I put the wig on. If I do all of that, I probably will faint from um heat. I'll probably get to sweating and probably fall out somewhere trying to be cute, trying to wear a wig. and I got all his hair. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But I mean, you know how sometimes you want to do something different. You don't want to, I just don't want to like wear my hair long all the, just straight all the time. But maybe I should just try to figure out how to curl it. Like I have curled it before with sponge rollers, but that's a lot of work too. Yeah, it's gonna have to be curly hair. It will definitely have to be that. She said, "Don't do it in the summer." Yeah, I already said I've been trying to conquer my fears. I'm scared of the dark. What do you mean? What do you mean? Scared of the dark? Like scared of being in dark rooms? Scared of the dark at your own house? Scared of the dark outside? Like what level of scared of the dark are you? Call in. That's why I put the call in number up there. It's free. Call in so we can all know. Call in. Be the first one to call in today so we can see how scared you are. That's why I put the call in number up there because it's just easier. What about a beautiful updo? Yeah, I do wear it up sometimes. I'm all excited.
Natalie. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2. Hello?
Okay.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I was
Okay.
eating some frosting. I just got home from school.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, so you're the one that's scared of the dark?
Yes.
So what do you mean? Like what kind of dark are we talking about?
Well, like, I'm scared of, like, the dark in my room. Like, sometimes I always slept with a nightlight in my room, but, like, just in general, like, when it's nighttime out, I'm just like, no, like, I'm not really feeling comfortable in the dark. Like, I just feel like the energies, like, around me, like, the walls, understand that it's darkness, and then they're like, okay, like, this bitch is scared. But, like, that's just how my mindset, you know, that, like, the walls and the energies around me pick up on my fear, and it maximizes my fear of the dark.
Okay, I've always had a fear of the dark. All of my whole entire life. I'm I'm an only child. I grew up mostly sleeping in the room by myself. I mean, there were times when I slept with my mom, but being an only child, you do spend a lot of time by yourself. The dark has never been my friend. Even now, I go to sleep sometimes with the TV on um, because I don't especially like the dark, but it's not to the point where I allow my fear to paralyze me or, you know, put me in like a bad position. I just don't like it. And if I can leave a light on, I will just leave a light on. I mean, I don't think there's anything bad about being afraid of the dark as long as you can acknowledge the fact that it is basically an irrational fear. Nothing is going to happen to you if all of your doors and windows and everything is locked. Nothing is going to get you. And to be honest, please don't get caught up on stuff that we see on TV about spirits under beds and, stuff coming out to
Yeah.
get you. There's like no reason for an entity to come against you normally unless you out there looking for that stuff and calling on that stuff and asking for it to come to you because you want to see it or whatever. Other than that, ain't no spirits or nothing trying to get you, sweetheart. Those are just irrational fears that we all have.
Yeah.
So, I
So
mean, if you have to sleep with a nightlight to make yourself comfortable, I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, we
I
always keep a
I
nightlight for my granddaughter. When she comes over
yes.
here, we have a nightlight for her. We keep it burning in the hallway in case she has to get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. My TV is on a timer. I go to sleep with the TV on, and when I wake up, of course, it has went off. But that's just how some of us are. Some of us just don't like the dark. We just don't, and we just have
Yeah.
to live with that. But don't let.
Yeah. It's definitely a thing right now where work. Have you heard of shadow work?
Yeah, I have.
I think eventually this summer I'm gonna have to practice that because it's just a thing where I understand if I leave this world, I'm gonna have to face all my fears anyway. So I'm just kind of in this position right now where I kind of think it's crazy, it's Pisces season. So I'm a life past 7. So recently, I'll just look up and I'll see something in the corner of my eye, but it's not what I'm seeing. Delusions a little bit. And it's definitely an energy of fear. So that's when it really got my attention. And so I've been really trying to understand shadow work. So I'm studying that right now. But actually it's just dumb stuff. I'm scared of sharks. I'm scared of drowning. And I don't know, I really need help with having the courage to do shadow work. Because I'm actually scared to do it.
Then if you're scared to do it, then that's not for you right now. When things come up in our life, if we're still having fears about doing it, it's not for us. It's not for us to just go around and pick up random spiritual things to do. That's like people wanting to practice voodoo or Santeria or something because they've seen other people do it and they're interested in it. If you have a fear of shadow work, then that's the spirit telling you that that ain't for you. That we don't, things that are for us, we don't have a fear of. And if you're having a fear of doing something spiritually, then that is the spirit telling you you're not ready for that yet. That's not your calling. Every spiritual thing that we see is not our calling. When we do
Yeah.
things that are our calling, we feel comfortable in them. Reading the cards, I am comfortable with that. That is my calling. Working with crystals, I am comfortable with that. That is my calling. I don't, people ask me, well, why don't you, work with, why are you not a psychic? Why won't you work with other people's ancestors? I don't know them and I don't want to work with them. I don't want to call your ancestors because I don't know who your people are. That ain't my calling. You know what I mean? Like I used to always tell people, that's not my ministry. You have to find out what your ministry is and work on that. And if you're feeling uncomfortable doing something, then that ain't your ministry.
No, yeah, for sure.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's very true and very crazy how you just read me to that point because it's very platonic because you were telling me about the abracadabra witch and I just now started to really get into the card and it's been since December. You told me that December 5th. I remember the day, and I had printed the card. It's been in my altar for a couple months or weeks. It's been a month, and I'm realizing oh my gosh, that is me. I do have a lot of tools. I can do these things. But it's wait, I don't even know my own spirit yet. I'm scared of myself. I said this to myself today. I'm I'm scared of myself because I literally manifest things very good. But if I don't have control of myself and my thoughts, well, then I can just get caught up. And it becomes a cycle. So
Can I ask you how old you are?
I'm 15.
Oh.
Yes.
15?
Yeah.
Did you say 15? Okay, sweetheart. Okay, for one thing, let me say this, and I'm really not trying to be mean, but I really don't like to talk to people that are under 18. And I'm gonna tell you
I,
why.
I'm
Let me
totally
tell
like,
you why. Let me tell
okay.
you why. I didn't know that you were 15, okay? Because I'd have cut this short real quick. For one thing, sweetheart, you are still growing, okay? The spirits just recognized you. You just been recognized for 2 years. They don't even recognize you until decision about what they do and don't want you to do right now because you are too young. Now, it's nice that you have an interest in this. Do a lot of reading, but you cannot make a decision like that on your own. You're too young to be making decisions about, oh, I want to do, because you're going to be interested in so many things because you're so young and it's so much information out there. I don't want to direct you in any path. I feel like right now you are still under the umbrella of your parents. You
Oh yeah,
understand
for
what I'm
sure.
you understand what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
are, you are still your parents' responsibility. They are responsible for you physically, mentally, and spiritually. And right now, if you're into certain things, then I want you to either go to your mom or dad or grandmom or auntie or somebody like that to get this type of information. Like, I don't mind you, looking at my videos. Yeah, I would love for you to continue to watch my videos. But as far as like really giving you spiritual information, I really want you to, talk to your parents. And if you are having, okay, so now it's a little bit more serious about you having, these fears of the dark or whatever. These are things that you need to bring up with your parents and allow them to help you. Maybe you are not feeling as safe at home as you want to, but your parents won't know that you're having these fears unless you tell them. Just like you got on here and told some stranger that you're having irrational type fears of the dark and things. I want you to be able to tell those things to your parents.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. I'm close
Because
to
just
my.
like I'm giving you good information on how to fix this situation, your parents will do the same thing because they love you. They may not know that you're having, these fears or whatever. Like my mama knew that I was scared of the dark and she did everything that she could to, to kind of help me, but I still grew up with that. I've still always had night lights. My husband knows that I'm scared of the dark. He does everything that he can to make me feel secure. So this is
Yeah.
something that you need to let your parents know that you are having some fears around the dark. And let them make you feel secure. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. And just read right now. Just take in as much information, read books. If your parents allow you to have tarot cards or candles, I'm not saying you shouldn't be doing that. Do that. But just know that right now, sweetheart, you're 15 years old. And the
Yeah.
spirits don't have, they're not pushing you right now to do anything. Okay? Right now, they're
Yeah.
just covering you because you're so young. They have a covering around you. They're not pushing you to do any work, any, spell work or anything like that. The spirits want you to be a child and enjoy your childhood because when you grow up, then they will be, feeding into your spirit things that they want you to do. And, the different types of religion that they will open up to you. But they're not opening no doors for you at 15, sweetheart. They're just not. They want you to enjoy life right now. And that's what you should be doing. You shouldn't
That's
be worried
perfect.
about shadow people and doing, dark no, girl, you should be worrying about studying and little boyfriend, 15 years old, or girlfriend or whatever, and going to the dance and having a good time and fixing your hair and learning how to do makeup. That's the kind of stuff that you need to be worried about right now, not shadow magic and seeing,
Yeah,
okay?
I definitely do have a lot of time.
You do. You got all the time in the world to learn how to do that. At 15, sweetheart, I knew nothing whatsoever about this religion. I didn't even know that this religion existed.
Well,
And I was happy not
yeah,
knowing.
and I think it's interesting because at preschool I went to Head Start, so I was already like preemptively like before everyone else. But ever since I was a kid, I felt like a grown person, and I don't know. I think I think a part of me feels like an important like deity. I don't know if this makes any sense to anyone. I've never really even spoken to this about people or to anyone, but I feel like I'm a reincarnation of a deity, and I think that's why I'm so drawn to spirit. Because ever since I was a kid, I've been drawn to spirit.
Well, we all have a spirit guide that is attached to us at birth. So we're gonna have a connection to something. We all have someone that is assigned to us that's going to follow us through life to help us through this journey, whether it be an Orisha, whether it be one of your ancestors, or just a spirit guide, an angel, or somebody. We all have someone attached to us at birth to help kind of guide us until we kind of come into ourselves. But at 15, sweetheart, you haven't come into yourself yet. You're still a baby. And that's how the spirits are looking at you as a baby. You're a child. Okay?
Yeah.
You're a teenager. You're still a child. And that's how the spirits look at you. Now, you may believe that you are a reincarnation of a deity, or, I'm not going to negate your feelings. But when it
Yeah.
all boils down, you are a 15-year-old child who is still
Yeah.
learning. And, you have a long way to go. But I mean, you're on the right path. Just keep, reading and researching and looking into things. And the older you get, the more spirit will pour into you. When you can control, those things. You're not at a position where you can even really control things that spirit gives you. You're not there yet. You're too young. Your brain is still developing. The brain doesn't stop developing until we are in our 20s. So your brain is still developing. I'm not saying that spirit don't talk to you. Spirit talks to all of us. But it's going to talk to you different than it talks to me. I have a little bit more time on this planet, a little bit more maturity, and a little bit more wisdom. So, of course, they're going to give me a different assignment than what they give you. So just keep reading. And I do want you to talk to your parents about um, what you're going through and what you're feeling so that they can help you work through that. Okay?
Okay. I have a question. Just because, I'm on the phone with you, and I've always wanted to ask you this, because I really do admire your relationship with your mother, and I think it's just so profound and beautiful. But I've never really had a strong relationship with my mother, so I would like to understand how I can heal my relationship with my mom, just because it's kind of rough right now. Just like currently, like these past couple of days have been kind of not good. And I just need like any like advice to like settle it down, because like my ego kind of got a little big, and I just like I don't know if I should even talk, kind of thing, because I'm just kind of like a stubborn person. I'm a Taurus, so I just kind of like am in my feelings. So like if you could help me with anything like with that situation.
Let me tell you this, sweetheart. Everybody, we all have problems with our parents. Me and my mama, my biological mother, we went through some issues. You have to want to change. You are saying now at 15, your ego should not be that big that you can't talk to your mother. So you're going to have to kill that ego. Okay? Because if you can't get along with your parents, the people that brought you in this world, your mother, the person that went through hours of labor and birthed you into this world, if you can't get along with her, you're not going to be able to get along with nobody. Our parents are our first test. God will tell us, honor your mother and father. So you're going to have to kill that ego. You too young to even be saying that, oh, my ego is so big. No, you too young for that. Kill that ego. Now, that's what you need to work on. You need to work on killing that ego. Murder your ego. Kill it dead. Because that's a bad thought process to even be having at 15. My ego is so big that I can't even, talk to my mama. That sweetheart, the that's not the direction that spirit even wants us to have. If you can't get along with your mother, spirit is not going to be able to pour these things into you. If you're holding on to resentment and pain and big inflated ego, spirit won't pour into you. It's a disrespect. That's a slap in the face. That's the main thing that Oshun is going to work through, is you having a relationship with your mother. I'm a child of Oshun. That's one thing I do not play. You can't talk to your mama, you can't talk to me. Because how you going to have respect for me? Your ego hasn't come up in this conversation at all. You haven't had an ego with me, and I'm a stranger. Yeah. So you treat your mama like you treat me. You have been the utmost respectful as a child. You stayed in your place this entire conversation. You take how you just talked to me and go sit down and talk to your mama. Okay?
Yeah.
Because you have proved that you can do it. If you didn't get disrespectful with a stranger, then you shouldn't get disrespectful with your own mother. And you showed me that you can do it. You did it with me, so you can do it with mama.
Yeah.
So you get that relationship right with mama, because spirit is always going to look at you. If you can't get your relationship right with your parents, that's always going to be like, a dig for them. They won't trust you with a lot of things because they're going to say, oh, okay, well, that person has an ego. So how can I, bless that person if they can't even be responsible enough and have empathy enough and compassion enough to deal with their own parents. And I know that mothers are not perfect. I have made a lot of mistakes with my children. I realize that some of the mistakes my kids have told me, and some things I have realized for myself, but my children still respect me. They still talk to me. We still have a good relationship. And I do know that it is so difficult for girls. My mother would never say, she's gone on to heaven now, but she would never say that I ever disrespected her. I will bite my own tongue off before I disrespect my mother. And I would never allow anybody else on this planet to disrespect my mother. That's how I am. And I'm
That made
not
me
going
very.
to have anyone around me who is telling me that they are disrespecting their parents or having a problem with their parents and I not set them straight because it's
For real.
wrong. Okay? So
Okay.
work on that relationship. Right now, forget all about this, you getting into your spiritual, all of that kind of stuff. You're going to have to put that stuff to the side and get your relationship together with your mother, because if you don't get that together, none of that other stuff is going to fall into place like it's supposed to. You're going to always be confused and jumbled up and angry and because you ain't get that straight. So get that straight first before you try to figure out what you doing with yourself spiritually. Work on the relationship with your parents. Get that together.
Okay.
That's your homework. Okay? So don't worry, leave them shadow people alone and deal with the people that's walking around on this planet with you. The shadow people can wait. They'll be here. They ain't going nowhere.
Okay. Thank
Okay?
you, almost.
All right,
Yeah.
sweetie. Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Y'all know how I am when it comes to parents. I'm never going to tell somebody else's child. I don't like I've always said, okay, how old are you? I don't like talking to people that are under 18. I really don't. I mean, I don't mind them watching this channel, but 15, you're just so impressionable. You're still, yeah, she a baby. She's still growing. She's still maturing. And I want you to go to that person that brought you in this world to get advice.
Tracy Wilbur. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing fine. What's going on today?
Oh, I actually just got out of a job interview not too long ago this morning. And talking to my ancestors and whatnot, just trying to, give them as many offerings and give them as many, just as much love as I can show them. And, I just started this journey not too long ago, about 6 months ago, 7 months ago, maybe, but sometimes, I do have questions about, I do have questions as far as, what are my spiritual gifts, or what is my purpose? And I try to ask, but maybe I'm just, just not hearing things clearly, or I'm just not, I'm not sure.
Okay. Those are not the type of questions that I normally answer in in this type of reading. Those are questions that you will have to set up an appointment and talk to me about. I try to keep things really simple during these type of readings, because that's a complete reading. You know, you you're really just trying to figure out what is going on with you. That's something serious. That's not. These are just general readings, just like a reading for the week to see like what's going on with you right now. Not a broad reading. I do
I'm
readings like
so
that. It's and I don't want all of these people, for one, in your business like that. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
that would be a conversation that me and you would have in private during a consultation, not in front of the world, because this video, after I'm finished, is going to be uploaded in private for the world to see. So that's not the type of information that you want everybody in on. That's how I do things. Now, if you want to know what's
I'm
going
so
on with you
sorry.
for the week, or what's going on with you today or something like that, that's kind of like what we're doing. Like, who is your spirit animal, and what's going on in your vibes for the week or the day. That's where we at.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't be
I'm so
sorry,
sorry.
sweetie. Don't be sorry. I just want to
Well,
let you
can
know
I
that we don't
ask?
do that. Huh?
Can I ask about the job that I interviewed with? If
Uh,
I'm
when was it? Today?
yeah, it was today.
Okay, let's see. What you doing?
Okay.
Let's see. I'm shuffling the cards now. I don't know if you can still see me. Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so it says clear the path. So this is basically saying that if you feel like there are any blockages in your life that would prevent you from getting this job, that you need to do that. Maybe you need to take a spiritual bath, okay? Maybe,
All
you
right.
haven't cleaned yourself off in a while. Maybe there are some things that are kind of weighting you down. So maybe you need to take a spiritual bath. Maybe you really need to sit down and think, okay, is this the best job for me? You know, do I really want this job? Am I really able to commit myself to this position? Am I really qualified for this position? You're going to have to clear the path. It seems like something is going on right now. It's not saying that you're not going to get the job, but it's just saying that there seems to be a few things in your way that may prevent you or hinder you from getting it. Like, say for instance, it was a job that requires you to get a special license. Do you have that license? You know what I mean? So it's just telling
Yeah.
you to make sure that you are prepared for this job. Do you have a reliable car? Clear the path so that there will be nothing blocking you from reaching that job. Is your car reliable to get you back and forth to work? If you have kids, do you have the proper daycare set up? All of these things that you have to think about in advance before you can get that job, because you can't get the job and then, oh my God, I ain't got nobody to keep my baby. You didn't clear the path. So it's saying
All
to
right.
make sure that you know, everything is lined up the way it should be, so that, the spirits can open this job up for you. Do you understand? Did that make
Oh,
sense?
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it does. All right.
Okay,
Well, that's the only. Bye.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, that was interesting. That was a good card. But back to um that young lady. I mean, thing about um I didn't even know anything about crystals. Like there is so much more information out there now, especially with the internet, with Instagram, with everything, with Google. Like we didn't have all of this kind of stuff when I was 15. I knew absolutely nothing about crystals. I look at my granddaughter now. She knows about crystals. She already has crystals. She has crystal jewelry. She's been around this stuff all her life, but she's 11. You know what I mean? I'm not teaching her anything. If she likes a crystal, I'll give it to her. If she sees me with a necklace and she likes it, I'll make her one. But I'm not teaching her anything about the spirits, about hoodoo, none of that. She's not ready. Okay? When it's her time, then of course she will get it from me. She has a extremely powerful grandmother. She will get it from me in her time, but 11 is it's not time. It's not time for her. She shouldn't even be thinking about doing hoodoo or voodoo or Santeria. There are some small children who are into, Santeria, who were made, who are priests and priestess at a young age. But 9 times out of 10, it's because their parents are into it. Both of their parents are priests. And of course, that child, you are the child of a priest. Then, yeah, usually that child is, brought before the Orishas. And of course, the Orisha is going to claim that child, mama and daddy, a priest. Of course, that baby is going to be a priest too. And the priest is made. Okay, it's not like that for my family. And I don't feel like young kids should, kind of be like thrust into this type of religion unless they have someone to guide them, because it's so much information and it's just so easy to get off in things that you don't know nothing about, like shadow work and demons and all of that kind of stuff. Child, you don't need to be worried about that, child. You need to be out there having a good time, doing your makeup, and being a child. 15, you're still a child. And I know y'all be thinking, I'm 15, I'm almost grown. Okay, well, you're not grown yet. Hey, KK. Yeah, go tell your mama what you're interested in. I wish I would have told my went and told, I wish I would have went and told my mama that I was interested in crystals, because my mama was a church woman. My mama wouldn't. She would have been like, "What?" My mama would have probably took me to church and threw me on the altar. No, the Lord is gonna strip all that from you. Baptize her again. She talking about crystals and stuff. I'm new to your channel and this is my second time watching you live. Do you do spells, both white and black magic? I do. Yes, I do. I call myself a two-headed witch. That means you do both. You work out of both sides of your hands. You know, my right hand, I'm right hand dominant. That is my good magic. And my left hand is the bad, the two-headed witch. So yeah, I do a little bit of everything. I dip and dabble in a lot of stuff. But I'm 55 years old. I have been under many a priest and Oba. Um, I have been initiated into Santeria and Ifa. So yeah, I do a whole lot of stuff. I need to chat, but I'm at work. Okay, girl. We be here almost every day. No, we be, yeah, every day except for like the weekends. Uh-oh, somebody from Georgia.
Amber.
Oh,
How are
scared,
you?
you scared Gizmo when the phone rang. You okay,
Oh no,
Pooh?
I'm so sorry, Gizmo.
Oh, that's okay, Pooh. It was just the phone. What's going on, girl?
Hey! Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm talking to a celebrity, just like that one caller that saw. But it's because I watch you every day, and I'm on my way home, and I'm like, I should just call in.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm glad you called.
thank you.
I'm glad you called.
I was wondering if you could pull a card for me. Just because I just feel a little like uncertain about like just certain things in my life, like my job and what I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay, let's see. I came on a little bit late today because TMZ is coming on. Oh yeah, I was talking to my husband.
Yeah, it's a little late. I'm like, oh, she's on when I don't have to work, so that worked
Yeah,
out for me. But
usually I'm hanging up around this
right,
time, but I'll stay
yep.
on probably until 3:30. Let's see. Oh, Gizmo said, I'm gone, because I don't know what you're doing. You got up and left, y'all. You gone, Buddha? You done left, mommy? Oh, okay. So, it's interesting that you said that you don't know what's going on, and the spirits are saying that you really don't know what's going on. So, it is time for you to get grounded. Your card is vibe check. It's time for you to sit down. Usually, when this card comes up for people, I tell them it's time for them to get a journal and to be serious about writing down what is going on in their lives. If you can start with writing your dreams, keep the journal next to your bed, write down your dreams, write down what you're feeling. Is it fear? Is it anxiety? Is it anger? What is the feeling? Figure out what the feeling is. It said it's time for you to check your vibes, to check and see what's going on. It's time for you to do an internal check. Just like when you go to the doctor and you're not feeling well, they take your blood because they're trying to see what is going on in the body. Is your blood count low? Is it too high? So basically, you're doing the same thing. You're going to do a check of yourself mentally and spiritually. Where am I at right now? What is going on? How am I feeling? And you're the only person that can answer those questions. I can't answer that for you because I don't know how you're feeling. You have to sit down with a journal. Okay, well, I'm anxious about, I'm not getting enough money on my job and, I'm not paying the bills like I wish that I could. Is it time for me to get another job, or is it time for me to go back to school so that I can make more money? It's time for you to sit down and check out all of those things that are swirling around in your brain and get them out, because you're not going to be happy until you start to resolve some of those things. Like right now, me and my husband, we are in the process of finding a place in another city. So we have, started the whole packing up and throwing away things. And that is stressful. Moving is stressful. And so I kind of realized, okay, you can't let this move stress you out. Every day, just do a little bit until you have everything completed. I checked in with myself. I'm checking in with myself every day. How are you feeling today? Arthritis. So it's time for you to do that with yourself. What is going on with me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Write your feelings down every day. Keep a journal. Keep a log. Put a date. Put the day, what the weather was like that day. That determines kind of like how we're feeling also. When it's gloomy and rainy and storming and stuff, our moods are always different than what it is when the weather is calm and it's sunny and it's not windy and just calm days. Our spirit is more calm. So you
Right.
got to check and see what is going on with you right now, because it's so interesting that you said that and the spirits was like, oh yeah, yep, she got it, she know what it is, so she just gotta
Mhm.
fix it.
Yeah.
You know what it is, so you just gotta go and sit down somewhere and get grounded and fix this situation.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. I love that.
Okay,
I
sweetie.
don't. Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Okay, well, thank you for calling.
All right. I'm gonna get back to watching you now.
Okay, bye bye.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Wow, that was another good one. I like that. I like when we get good ones and they really resonate with the person and what is going on in the person's life. I mean, I am a true I've always told you guys that journaling is so great to do. It is really a great tool. Like I really enjoy art journaling and art therapy. I like to paint. I'm not a great painter, but I mean, you can just cut things out of magazines and put them in your journal and write how you feel in that day. Sometimes I go to the Goodwill and just buy magazines and just sit by myself and cut the people out of the magazine and maybe put like a little thought bubble next to the person or something, or decorate a page or paint and put something out of the magazine into that page. That's a time when I disconnect from the phone, the YouTube and the TV and all of that kind of stuff, and just get into my own world. We all need that. We all need that disconnect time. Or maybe your journal is a space to, write down things that are going. I mean, sometimes I will get in my journal and every curse word that I can think of, I will put in there instead of saying them out loud. Sometimes, we all go through that. It's some days when I'll be cussing too. But I'm not going to cuss out my husband because I'm in a bad mood or he didn't got on my nerves or whatever, because trust and believe, he do get on my nerves. Like, he a sweet person, but he get on my nerves too. Everybody get on my nerves. And, I just put it in my journal. I get on my nerves sometimes. Sometimes I, just do some of the I don't know. Ooh, like when I killed that plant and I knew it was my fault. Like I really went in on myself. I was so mad because I watered this plant from the top instead of really paying attention that the it wasn't absorbing the water like it should have. I guess the water was sitting around the plant and it got root rot because it was a succulent, a small succulent, and it got root rot. And it was because I really was not paying attention to what I was doing the way that I should have been. And, like I was just rushing and gave the thing too much water. And I just really went in on myself. And I was like, girl, you doing all that for a $6 plant? Do you know I'm pretty sure you got $6 in your purse self. We gotta check ourselves. Cause I did way too much. I was like, girl, what is wrong with you? You out here killing plants and stuff? You a horrible plant mama. You done just killed that plant and then sat her outside. What you thought? It was gonna get better because you sat her outside? Oh my God. I was like, you know what? Shut up, LaShawna. You doing too much. Then I had to put it in my journal, girl, talk about how I talked about myself. Yeah, that sounds good. But I did. That's what we got to do sometimes. It gets those, we write those feelings down, get those feelings off of our chest so we can move on and do other things. Check your vibes. Check and see how you feeling about yourself, what is going on. Write those things down and move on. Can you pull a card for me regarding my marriage? It probably won't. It probably won't be for your marriage particularly because that's something that's serious. So it'll probably be more for you. Rosemary, this Rosemary's. I get with you, Keisha. Okay, okay, Cola. I don't know if she's gone already. I hope y'all at least give me a little donation in my PayPal. If you scroll up, I put my PayPal information. I don't see it. But my PayPal is my same, is the name. My name. Drop me a little dime or something in my PayPal or my Cash App. It don't matter. Either one. Just don't put it in this thing. Because Google takes that. Google will take, so don't do that. I don't know why they do that, but they take like 30 something percent of the thing. Super chat. So don't use that. Okay, this is for Rosemary. Okay. Here you go. It is saying to call on your angels. So something is going on. And usually if it's saying call on your angels, that in this sense it means like your ancestors or your spirit guides, the person that is assigned to help you. You need to call them. And for me, I would say it's maybe time for you to have a relationship with your ancestors. If you don't know how to set that up with your ancestors, you can leave me an email and I can kind of work you through that. I'm not really sure. I may have a video on how to set up your ancestor altar. I'll have to check and see. I think I do, but I'm not sure if it's in the playlist yet. But I'll look and see. But this is saying that it is time for you to go to the person that is assigned to help you spiritually. This is not saying, oh my God, is something going on in your marriage. Don't put that in the comments. If you want to talk to me about that later, you can talk to me about that later. But it's saying go to the people that are assigned to help you to, work things out. Okay? So it is saying that it is time for you to get some help. And that help could be marriage counseling. If you don't want to do it on a spiritual level, then that help could also mean it's time for you to get some marriage counseling. But it is saying it's time for you to get some help. Call on your ancestors, your spirit guides, or somebody. It's basically saying whatever is going on right now, you cannot fix it by yourself. And however, if you're working with your ancestors, if you're working with your spirit guides, if you believe in Jesus Christ, the Lord and Savior, it's time for you to start calling on somebody that is greater than yourself for help. Yeah, you can call just to say, hey, Bumblebee. You sure can. I don't know who my guide or ancestor would be. Okay, I will get with you. Okay, I'm gonna put my email. That's my email. You're gonna have to send me an email and we'll have a chit chat. Just make sure you put in the title thing that you talked to me on live, so I'll remember. Because believe it or not, I get so many emails, sweetheart. So trigger my memory. Hey, Emotion, I'm doing great. You should hear from me soon. Always watching you. Okay, Vernita. Okay, Rosemary, just make sure you let me know um that it's you. Introverted alchemist. Any advice on my behalf, card wise? Wait a minute, was it somebody else that asked for a card? Keisha? Keisha, did I skip you? What did you want to know who your spirit animal is? Is that what you're saying? Because we can do that also. Is that what you want? Or you want just a regular card? Because I don't want to skip anybody. Is Keisha still here? Let's give her a chance to answer. Because if she wants to know who her spirit animal is, we can do that. Yeah, but I can wait. What is it? What does that mean? You can wait for when? You don't want to do it in front of everybody? You don't want to do it in front of everybody? You want to do your spirit animal? Do you know if I would be blessed with a big windfall of money? No, I don't. And I normally don't even ask those kind of questions to spirit. You know why? Because it's kind of on the selfish side. And if they decide to bless you, they will. I don't usually ask spirit about money and stuff like that. Because they're going to bless us how they bless us. You know, just be grateful. Sometimes just being grateful for what you have right now will attract other things to you. Being grateful for what they have already given you.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
I couldn't hear who they said it was.
Hello.
Hello?
Long-time listener, first-time caller. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I just wanted to say hello. I listen to your live streams a lot, and I don't know. I just enjoy like whenever you talk about like how the millennials are today versus how the kids are from the past. Because I'm Generation X. I was born in the '70s, and I've been blessed to have experienced life before and during the internet, and and everything. But I just enjoy those conversations or those discussions that you have, about the past and everything, and how, how kids have changed and stuff. And I just want to let you know I enjoy those discussions a lot.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, yeah, I was born in the 60s. I was born in 1964. So I have, seen a great deal of change when it comes to technology. The older I get, of course, the more things change. So yeah, those type conversations are interesting to me. Also, as a matter of fact, I was on Instagram today, and someone was talking about the conversation around spanking came up, and it's this new generation that I, call these kids that, of course, don't believe in any type of spanking for their children. And it was like everybody that was in my generation, were saying we all got spanked. I got spanked.
Yeah.
There are a lot of successful people who got spanked and don't have any lasting scars, but I know there is a huge difference between spanking and abuse. And I think that's where people now, are not really correlating the difference between spanking your child and abusing your child, because there is a difference. Even in child protective services, you can hit your child. You just have to hit your child with an open hand on their butt, and you can't hit the child more than 5 times. So even Child Protective Services does not have a problem with discipline. It's when you go farther than that and start to punch your child, or, some people do too much. They really do. I do have an understanding of that. And I know that there are some children who, do have lasting scars from parents who have beat them. But I mean, I have a mother that spanked me, and she would sit down and tell me what I did and why she did what she did. And I feel like from those things I learned a valuable lesson. I didn't spank my kids a lot, but I did spank them, and they grew up to be very productive young men in society, and I feel like I did also. So I mean, it was an interesting conversation. For one thing, the ages, varied. There were people in their 50s, there were women, there were men, there were people in their 40s, 30s, 20s, all chiming in on the conversation, and it was extremely interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I do like to talk about that kind of stuff.
And like another thing that upsets me, well, this normally doesn't go like with your channel, but like like a lot of the small appliances, this is completely different, but like a lot of the small appliances today are total junk. I mean, I bought one of those electric can openers off Amazon, and like 5 months later, it crapped out on me. And so what I did was I got myself a vintage electric can opener from the Goodwill store, and that thing has been working for years. And it's just, everything today is so disposable. And like I watch a lot of these people on YouTube who do the trash picking off of the curbs and stuff. People throw away so many things these days. There's just an abundance of stuff.
It is. It is. But you got to look at the fact that back in the day, they hired, there were a lot more people working on those assembly lines, and people really cared about their jobs back in the day. So things were well made. We live in a society now, the population has probably tripled with less workers, and they're trying to force less people to do the job that more people used to do. So of course the products are not as well made as they used to be.
Yeah, so I'm like in the process of collecting like vintage appliances off of eBay or like the Goodwill thrift stores or wherever. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's just like furniture. You know, furniture is not as well made as it used to be. I mean, I see the beds, some of the beds that people are sleeping on, these little thin mattresses, and you know, what is wrong with sleeping on the mattress and the box spring? They got these y'all
Yeah.
kids out here sleeping on these little thin mattresses full of some foams. Different now, but I
And
like that old
there's
school
no
stuff.
quality control either, you know.
Right, right. They don't. They don't have quality control like they used to, and everything is get it out fast. Like Amazon, you deliver to your house in a couple of hours, or you know the next day, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, all that. Get it to give it to me right now, and of course you don't give it to me right now quality because everybody wants stuff so fast,
Yeah.
which is sad. But that's why a lot
Yeah.
of stuff is cheaper. You know, some stuff is cheaper now because
Compared to back then, like how much was one of those big console TVs back then? Like $600, like in the
yeah,
'70s.
yeah, them flow model TVs was expensive, child. My
And
last
like
big
today,
TV, the last big 32. Now this was just 42-inch TV, I think. The last big TV that I had, I think that TV was like $400, and it was a
uh-huh.
big old TV. You know, the ones that still had the picture tubes and stuff. Now these you can
Yeah.
go in there and get a flat screen for $100 some.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff is
I
much
think one
cheaper.
time I was in Walmart, I saw like a 55-inch for like $250, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Ain't no way in the world you would have been able to get a TV with a picture tube. You know those big, wide back TVs for no $200 and some dollars. It wasn't
I would
happening.
never need it to be that
Yeah, not
big.
that big. But I mean, that's what people had back in the day. Like in the '80s and the '90s, we had those big floor model TVs, big
I
TVs.
remember them very well.
Yeah. If you had a floor model TV, if you went over somebody's house and they had a nice floor model TV, you'd be like, "Ooh, they got some money."
Yeah.
You just knew they had some money. Ooh, her mom and daddy got some money. They got floor model TV. Yeah, that was the thing. But now everybody got flat screen. You know, cause what? You can get a good flat screen for $130. You can catch one on. Go to Walmart and get you a decent flat screen for. We went to Savers and bought my granddaughter a nice Sony flat screen TV for $30 at Savers.
Wow.
$30, child. And it wasn't nothing wrong with it. The TV was
Yeah.
perfect. It was just a older, just kind of like an older model flat screen. But it was still
Uh-huh.
nice for like a 9-year-old, because I think she was like 9 at the time. Yeah, you couldn't beat that. Because people, they get rid of TVs. They take them down to the Goodwill every time they decide to upgrade.
Yeah, and everybody's always upgrading. They have to have the latest phone and the latest this and the latest that.
Yeah.
I think I've had the same TV for maybe about 8 years, and I really don't watch TV, so I don't imagine myself buying a new one.
Yeah, the only
anytime
reason
soon.
why I ended up buying a new TV is because my old one was tripping. I don't buy stuff just to get updated on the new thing. I'm going to hold on to this Samsung phone till it stop working. I don't care if Samsung come out with 20 phones. I ain't buying it. I sure ain't. I use stuff until it don't work no more, and then I go out and buy something new. I'm not out here trying to prove nothing to nobody. I don't have to have the latest and the greatest.
And everybody's always trying to impress other people, and frankly, I don't think anybody really cares,
They don't. They don't.
Really don't.
That's the thing. No one cares that you have an iPhone. Or that you
And
in
no
you in
one's gonna
Starbucks
roll it
with your
off.
new iPhone. No one cares.
It's true. It really is.
Nobody cares. So I'm not trying to impress nobody.
Yeah.
I will go to the Goodwill. As a matter of fact, I love thrift shopping. I will go to the
It's
Goodwill
fun.
in a
You never know what
minute.
you're finding there.
Right. I always end up finding something nice, but my style is so eclectic that the Goodwill or the thrift store is just always the best place for me anyway. I just love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for calling. Call in again, okay?
Okay. Well, nice talking to you. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, y'all. We have been on here an hour and 22 minutes. And y'all know I'll be trying to keep it up under 2 hours. Okay, wait a minute. I'm gonna do one more thing. Hey Paris. Okay, where's Keisha? Keisha, Keisha, you wanted your spirit animal? May I know my? Okay, I'm gonna do Keisha, and then Amber, I will do you this evening. Okay, I'm gonna do Keisha's. And then Amber, if you can come back later on, I will do you later. Or if you can't come back later, I'll do you first thing tomorrow. But let me do Keisha's because she had already asked. And then I'm going to get off of here because my allergies then started to... Um, I forgot to take the Claritin. I found the Claritin and forgot to take it this morning. Because it seemed like allergy season is hitting early. And I thought allergy season wasn't supposed to hit until like April. But my nose has been running. And it's not, I'm not coming down with a cold. It don't feel like a cold. It feels like allergies. And I do have seasonal allergies, but usually they don't kick in until April or May. So it's kind of strange that it is already kicking in. Oh, you got the manatee. Let's see what it says. This is a beautiful card. The manatee, it is the 6 of shells. Let's see. Oh, okay. The 6 of shells. Okay, so of course, this is a water element. And the theme of this card is kindness, generosity, acceptance, and peace. Peace is always good. It says big, bulky, slow moving manatee glides gracefully through the water, welcoming us to explore the placid nature of our emotional realm. Basking on the surface, sinking down to forage seagrass, or delight a loved one with a surprise gift or message, smile at a stranger without desire for reciprocation. We naturally shine the goodness of life infused with generosity. We love the world. So, this is telling you to give with no expectation of receiving anything back. Okay? And I used to really struggle with that. If I opened a door for somebody, I expected them to say thank you. Everything I did for somebody, I expected them to be as grateful for receiving it as happy as I was to give it. But when you always expect something back from someone, when you do something for them, it's selfish. You're really not giving to help that person or to bless that person. You're giving to stroke your own ego. So give with no expectation of receiving anything back. That helps us greatly in this life, having no expectation of other people, loving with no expectation, just loving freely on people without expecting them to do a whole lot for you. Just giving love, just freely loving people, freely being in return. Now, I'm not saying to allow people to walk over you and use you as a doormat, but I'm saying when you do for people, don't have a really high expectation of them. Sometimes just smiling at somebody, and if they don't smile back at you, don't get mad and be like, I smiled at you. Just be like, all right then. I gave her a smile. She didn't smile back. Just keep it lit. You can't get mad every time someone doesn't give to you what you give to them. It says the lesson here is to slow down, balance work with play, explore life with happiness and wonder, practice giving and receiving, celebrate togetherness, and choose peace. Okay? Choose happiness above anything else. When things are going wrong at work or in your house, I choose peace. I'm not going to sit up here and argue with you. I choose peace. No matter what is going on, I choose peace. The manatee. I've always thought that the manatee is not one of the most beautiful animals because they are big and, kind of cumbersome looking, but they have such a quiet, peaceful spirit. They're really quiet. They're big, but quiet and peaceful animals. They don't bother other animals. Other animals are not intimidated by them because they don't bother other animals. They're not like sharks, like, other animals in the sea are just automatically intimidated by sharks because of the way that they move and, because of just who they are. But no one's intimidated by a manatee because they know that, they just moving around kind of slow. That's kind of like a sloth. No one's intimidated by a sloth because they know that the sloth ain't out here bothering nobody. They out here living their best life. That's how a manatee is. I've always, thought that they were ugly cute. You know how something is ugly, but it's still kind of cute. And it's just little, little fat sea creature that's living his best life, not bothering nobody. And normally, other animals don't bother the manatee because they know that the manatee ain't out here trying to bother nobody. He's just out here trying to live his best life. Okay? So, the manatee is your spirit animal for now. Live your best life. Just be out here living. Don't worry about what other people doing. You do you. But in the process of doing you, give love to other people. But don't expect them to give you anything in return because everybody ain't on your level. We all on different levels. We all on the same journey, but we at different levels. I can smile at somebody and they could be going through a divorce. They're not going to smile back at me because they're mad. Or their kid could have just acted up in school and they got to go pick them up. Or they could have had a flat tire this morning and I smile at them and they don't give me nothing back. They got things going on in their life. They ain't happy like me. But I can't be mad at them because they didn't receive, Just throw it out there. It's eventually going to stick on something. All right, y'all. I'm getting ready to go. Hopefully you can find my... okay, Paris, I will. If I make it back later on this evening, I'll do yours. I'll do yours then. Okay? Hopefully I'll come back later. But I'm going to go and rest for a little while. Maybe I'll be back about 7 or 7:30. Somewhere around that time. Okay? Thank you guys for calling in. Thank you for at least trusting me and, trusting Spirit to talk to you and trusting me to, give you some good advice, and hopefully you guys will come back. Thank you, introverted alchemist. I hope you will come back. I enjoyed your conversation. I enjoyed everyone that called in, and we will be doing the call-ins more often. Yeah, it don't hurt to be nice. We will be doing the call-ins more often. I'm going to, try to put the call-in number in there when we first start. So if anybody wants to call in, they can do that. Okay, I love you guys. Oh, don't forget to check out my Wendy's breakfast sandwich review. And I'm not really a fast food. Well, I do kind of like McDonald's, I ain't gonna lie, and Taco Bell. But not really for breakfast. So this morning we decided to try the Wendy's Baconator, breakfast Baconator. And it was actually good. So don't forget to go and watch that video also. Okay, I love you guys. Thank you. Bye.